All right. First and foremost, man, thank you so much to Manny and Collab, for having me be a part of this and the movement of what this all is, and JP Morgan and all of that. I'm very grateful to be a part of what this is, man. And yes, like he said, I am a comedian out of Dayton, Ohio. 23 years old. I've been doing it consistently for about 5 years. Been doing it full time for about a year and a half, where it's my main job. It's my only job that I have right now, and I'm blessed to be doing it. And I kind of want to get into things with my act and everything, but it's gonna relate to a lot of what has been talked about so far today. Um, First and foremost, all of you guys are business owners or small business owners or people involved in entrepreneurship. And what most people don't realize as a comedian, that's exactly as an artist nowadays, that's what you got to be. You got to be an entrepreneur. And I came up in Dayton, Ohio, and how all you guys are looking on your face right now, that's the reaction that it deserves right there, Dayton, Ohio. That's what that's I saw no excitement in anyone's face. Even the anonymous little bubbles got more disappointed when I said Dayton, Ohio. That's where I'm from. And I get it whenever I try to mention that I'm from Ohio, I'm from the southern Ohio area. People don't get that excited. They don't get too hyped. And I understand, people must not be a big fan of a heroin. I see, because that's all that we mainly got down there. It's pretty crazy. It's crazy. I'm on some of it right now. Joking. But I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and being in Dayton, it's a smaller city. It's like a third tier market city, and a lot of people in the city. It's a lot of low expectation and hope for what people think they can do. Even though we've had a lot of great entrepreneurs and inventors from Dayton, like the Wright brothers and so on and so forth. But coming up where I'm from in Dayton, West Dayton, it was very bleak for what people thought they could do. I grew up in a neighborhood called Five Oaks, and on the end of every street in Five Oaks, there were just these big metal gates at the end of every street. And it was a pretty wild neighborhood. We didn't know if the gates were there to keep the crime out or to keep us in. We had no idea what was going on, you know. But I was able to still persevere and come up in Five Oaks, man, because I got good enough grades in middle school where I got sent to one of the top private Catholic high schools in the state. I went to Carroll High School. And that's where I first started demonstrating my entrepreneurship and my hustle, because before I started doing comedy full time in high school, I had my own business in high school. And that business was I sold snacks and condoms at school. That's what I did. That class was in session. That's what I was doing. And it's weird, like, because y'all got you should react crazier to that, because like selling condoms in Catholic school, that's like having crack. It's not allowed. I was living on the edge per se. But now I kind of, that's the past. Now I use a lot of that hustle that I did in school with comedy. Because with building a small business, like, comedy's my brand. And even though I'm not like a big established national act on the circuit, my brand is recognizable, and I'll be put on certain shows in small cities and big cities. I performed in venues like the Apollo Theater to just, a local bar show, you name it. I've been on all sorts of shows. And not too long ago, I actually headlined a show in a town called Pulaski, Tennessee. Ain't y'all aware of Pulaski? No, hey, that's a no. That's a no.
Never.
I
I'm
see like three
definitely
people.
aware of Pulaski, Tennessee.
Oh, someone's aware. Okay, so you
Oh my
already know where this
goodness.
is going.
Wow.
You know where this
Yes,
is.
absolutely.
Yo, I had no idea. Okay, because I'm gonna let y'all know. He knows. I had no idea. Turns out when I got to Pulaski, Tennessee, I found out that that town is actually the birthplace of the Ku Klux Klan. Like, straight up. And I had no idea. In that town, for some reason, they chose to book me as the headliner. Have no idea what the thought process was. I don't know. and I should have did my due diligence, but I didn't know till I got there. I know y'all probably looking at me like, well, when you got there, why didn't you just leave? But but by then I already gotten the direct deposit. And I'm not gonna lie, where I'm at in my career, clan money is still money. I didn't know what to do. I was sitting there like I gotta uphold my business agreement. I gotta uphold it. I can't judge them. So I went up on stage and I tried to, because this is what I call the not, we're in divisive time in our country. That's what everybody says, but I think that's BS because we've always been in divisive times here. It's always been divisive. Always. So I'm in my head like, okay, it's a lot of differences between me and this crowd right now. How do I connect with what I would call the not so cool whites? How do I connect with these guys here in this small town? How do I connect with them? So I talked about things that I thought that the not so cool whites liked, things that could help me connect with them, Like trying to talk about cornhole and Mountain Dew and Cotton Eye Joe and stuff. And and I thought it would have helped us connect with each other, and it was working for a little while. But then I got a little bored. I got a little risky, and I was trying to troll the crowd a little bit. I said to the crowd, I was like, "Yeah, so this is cool. This is cool. So in Pulaski, like, what's the most famous thing you guys are known for?" And right when I said that, I swear, dude in the front row of this show looked me dead in the eyes. He looked me dead in the eyes and was like, "Hanging." He just screamed, "Hanging." He just screamed it. Screamed it. And I looked him right in the eyes and I was like, dang. So do y'all just be hanging out? Like what's the deal? Y'all just be hanging out with each other, kicking it? And he's like, we'll kick you, boy. I was like, all right, here's the check back. There you go. And, but in all seriousness, that was a lesson that I learned in booking that gig in all seriousness, because when it comes to booking things as a comic, that's my business. I didn't really do research into what I was getting into. The whole synopsis of that story is because this was earlier in my career when I wasn't really taking it as serious with doing my due diligence. And I did my due diligence with this event with Manny. I knew that there was going to be no Pulaski citizens on on the call, but it's being strategic, picking your battles of what you want to do and what can help you. It can help me networking with people like you guys on this call, people like Manny. I don't know how much it assists me hanging out with the Cotton Eye Joes and I didn't know how much it assists me, but I went through it, because being a comic, you gotta go through the grind and go through the circuit. You know what I mean? Because I travel a lot doing comedy. I travel a lot. I get to see a lot of different places. I get to see a lot of small towns and big cities. I don't know how often you guys get to travel, but when you get to travel a lot, you start realizing something. You realize you don't really know where you're from until you start leaving. Until you start leaving from where you're from. You have no idea where you're from until you see other places, And I noticed something everywhere around the country that I travel. If it's a big town or a small town, it doesn't matter. I notice property value and rent everywhere has gone way up. Way up. If any of y'all knows, it's gone way up everywhere, right? But for some reason, in my hometown, Dayton, Ohio, it has stayed pretty low. I mean, dare I say, it done got even lower, bro. I mean, y'all wouldn't even believe what I'm about to tell y'all next, because I don't know where you guys are all from, but I'll tell you where I'm from, right? My apartment right now in Dayton, Ohio, and y'all not gonna believe it, rent at my crib right now is $200 $117
What?
per month.
What?
Per month.
Jerrel,
And guess what? And
you
guess
gotta
what? Guess what?
go.
No, I told you you wouldn't believe it. I told look, and guess what? With utilities, y'all. With
No.
utilities. That's
You
why y'all
gotta
should have been
go.
making more noise when I said Dayton, Ohio earlier, damn it. That is a deal. Some of y'all thinking about commuting right now over Zoom. I see it. I see it on your anonymous faces. I see it. I couldn't believe it either, man. Because that's where I'm living at right now. I was like, damn, I was so excited because I was just like 19 moving in. I was like, where's this place been my whole life, man? But I'm not going to lie to y'all. The week before I got the place, I found out that a triple homicide happened right around the corner from the place. Which clearly explains the price of the apartment. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. When I found that out, that had me thinking about killing 4 people just to get that rent down to $150. I was like, yo, man, I figured out the formula, baby. I figured it out. But I only figured it out by traveling around and seeing other places, man, because I thought it was normal, man. You know, Dayton is a 3rd-tier kind of city. It's a low cost of living, which is actually why I get to do comedy full time. Is because I still, I still live in my cheap, smaller city. You know what I mean? But it's other things that I do like about comedy and that I like about Dayton and that I like about, you know, doing business and all of that. You know, it's other things that I like. Like one of my favorite things about any city that I go to are I always love the homeless people. I always love the homeless people in any city that I go to. Because if y'all really think about it, the homeless people, you know, if you visit in the city, forget the tourist spots, forget all that. To really find out how a city is, you have to talk to their homeless people because they're the real character of the city. They're the real character of the city. In Dayton, Ohio, they're my favorite homeless people because in Dayton, the homeless people are very aggressive. They're very assertive to the point. They don't try to BS or nothing. They just ask you what they want and they just say it to you like that. You know, I always appreciate that. Actually, I had an encounter with a homeless dude a few years ago in Dayton, man. Had an encounter. I was doing a show outside. I was doing an outside show. I was doing a show outside on the sidewalk because you know my career is going great. And wow, okay, thank you. I'm glad nobody giggled. I'm killing it. Shut up. But while I was outside on the sidewalk during the sidewalk show, it was going cool because it's one of those improv street shows. I don't know how many of you guys been to an outdoor kind of street performance show, but it could be very fun because there's a lot of improv and it's in the moment and it's a beautiful thing with the arts, but it's terrible for stand-up. It's awful for stand-up. It should never be done for stand-up because we're competing with too many other cool things on the street performance. It's too much going on. Like down the street from us, there's a guy playing the acoustic guitar. Right down from me, a dude's juggling fire. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah, so my teeth are big. Like, man, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear that. What are you doing? You know, but this is the battle I was up against. But the encounter with the homeless person happened during the show because I started getting heckled by a homeless dude. And you know it's bad when like the homeless dude, you know, he's winning on you, man. Like damn, this is the most clever, wittiest homeless dude I've ever met in my life. I didn't know what to do, man. I was too new in the game. He ran right up to me, very aggressive. He just started shouting at me like, ah! I was like, I didn't know what to do. At the time, I had these long, beautiful dreadlocks. I had these long, beautiful dreadlocks. I don't have them now, but they were long and beautiful. And he kept pointing at my dreads. He just kept pointing at them, man. I didn't know why he kept pointing. I was getting nervous. He was like, Bob Marley. I was like, what? And I'm grabbing my dreads like, oh, he's calling me Bob Marley. But he wouldn't stop. Bob Marley. ha, bye, Marley. Eventually, I'm like, hey, man, you done said it like 5 times. We get it, Mr. Homeless Man. It's over, okay? But he just kept going, bye, Marley, ha, ha, ha. You look like Bob Marley if every little thing wasn't going to be all right. I was like, oh, damn. I was like, damn, touche, Mr. Homeless. After that, I actually cut him off. That's why I cut my dreads, because he came at me too. I know it's weird it's weird as a comic to share a lot of stories of like what some people would call the lowlights of shows, like crazy, weird shows, man. But I share those, especially on this call, to kind of, because I love Manny. Manny made me feel like the man, first off. I mean, oh my God, that introduction. Oh my God, I need to take you everywhere. I mean, you would have made Pulaski way better. I mean, it would have been fantastic. But yeah, in the introduction and all that, it was great, and I am doing some great things and some bigger things, and he's met me along the way. But I do share the lowlights, because not only are they funny, but they show that everything got to start somewhere. It's progression, just like with people starting these smaller businesses, anything that you're doing, it takes time to build a clientele. It takes time to build a reputation. It takes time to make a profit. I know y'all probably meet plenty of people that think that they could just get into something like it's a hustle, because a hustle and business is two different things. Hustle is cool. You can know how to hustle, but it's not a long sustainability with just hustling. Business is having a plan. My pops always told me a plan or a goal without a plan is just a wish. You always say that. A goal without a plan is just a wish. All you're doing is just wishing that something's just going to change for you overnight. Instead of me just being at my local club and just waiting and wishing that I would just start doing it for a living and start getting on shows, I decided to just go out and do a lot of these weird stories that I've told y'all so far, go out and try to make a name for myself, go into places where they're not too welcoming to comedy. There's a lot of comedians I know that wouldn't even want to do this call over Zoom, because to them it's a non-traditional setting. They're a little bit scared. It says, say that again. Yeah, a goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish, because if you got no plan, it's just a dream. A plan makes it concrete, to where you could try to achieve your goal. And my plan with stand-up was, let me try to get on as many shows as I can to get polished enough to where I can start being confident enough in my act to where I can sell myself, And now I'm at that point where I'm doing a lot more better shows now. I mean, those stories were like from 3 years ago. But, I'm still not, I'm not Kevin Hart, Like, yeah, I'm on a damn chalkboard right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a regular guy. I'm still on the come up, but I have a plan for what the come up is. And everybody needs to have that. It's sorry to make it all corny after all the laughing and the joking around. But everybody has to have a plan for what they want to do, because as an artist, artists have to be business minded. No, this isn't the old days where like a old bald white guy with a cigar in his mouth is sitting in the back of the club like, there, kid, you made it. That doesn't happen. How it happens is you have to have the leverage in order to do business with these people. Like even in music, record labels aren't signing no artists unless they have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of metrics. And comedy clubs are doing the same thing. They're not putting you on unless you're able to live up on the business side of the agreement. So as an artist, I really do pride myself as an entrepreneur, because I have to be in order to do my art. If I don't want to be an entrepreneur, I'm just a young kid with a wish, you know. But instead, I want to be a young kid with a plan, you know. So yeah, that's what those little anecdotes was. I feel so cheesy though with that, but I really had to say it, man, because I'm on a chalkboard and I'm like, hey, class is in session, I'm gonna try to share something. But oh wait, I still got a little bit of time with y'all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Any
just
questions? Yeah, I was about to say because then I got like about like 6, 7 more minutes. Yeah. So any questions that y'all have, man, let me know. I'll be more than willing to answer. We still got some people in here. Shoot, throw them at me, man. They could be funny, serious. I don't care, man. Ask me something. I'm gonna start beatboxing or something. I'm gonna just start making something up.
what's well, as they're doing that, what's probably the most awkward or just random uh you know what's it called? Just random event that you've had to do this year, other than the one in Tennessee.
Yeah, let me think, man. Random and awkward this year. It actually is. Says, how do you come up with material? All right, I'm gonna answer your question first, man. Um, yeah, random and awkward this year. I did do like and I usually don't try to do a lot of these no more, but somebody hired me to do like their birthday party. It was like a private event, and it paid good. But when I pulled up, turns out, and this was my problem, I didn't communicate with the guy. When I got there, it was like he wanted like a dance party, like mixed in with comedy. It was weird. So you wanted like dancers first, and then a comedian, and then dancers. But the energy flows are just too. It's a roller coaster, because when you're dancing, you're hyped and moving and talking, and then you got to be quiet and sit down for comedy. And yeah, man, this show was terrible. I mean, it ended up going off the rails. The crowd ended up just yelling stuff. They wanted to take over the show. And by the end of it, I was ready to leave. Turns out my
Huh.
old middle school teacher was there. Like she was like my old algebra teacher. And she was like, "Oh my goodness, Jerrel, I hear you're doing so good." I was like, not judging by the night, but thank you. This is, but that was an awkward one. But yeah,
That's
I
weak.
do some
I'm weak.
questions. Let me read some of these. How do you come up with material? Is there a particular process or routine that helps you generate ideas? I'll say like my style is very conversational. So like a lot of the times it'll just be something that I just say like in conversation in real life that I'll be like, oh, that's funny. Let me write that down and work on it. And then my process, I'll kind of jot it down on a notebook, a little bullet point, then go on stage and work it out and kind of flesh it out to be a real act. But yeah, that was a good question. That was a good one. Oh wait, I got another one here. How did you find the shows you perform at? How do you find speaking engagements? Yeah, man, that's a loaded one because in the beginning, a lot of it is as a comedian, you get booked by other comedians. Like if you start out at a comedy club, other comedians will notice that you're kind of funny, and then they'll ask you to just be on shows with them. But past that point when you're new, what the next stage I hit was social media helped me get booked a lot. Um, Social media was helping me get on because I would kind of represent my brand on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And eventually bookers start hitting you up when they see that you're booked on other shows. So it's kind of like in high school when you didn't have a girl, no girls were checking for you. But then all of a sudden you got a girl and like girls are like, oh yeah, he's kind of cool. And that's kind of what the comedy thing was, like I mean it's true. It's true. It's, it's true. I don't know why it works like that, but after a while, once you get hot enough with other people, you just start getting hit up. And I'm blessed enough where I'm booked out till March right now. I got shows all the way out to March. I got direct deposits for most of them. So I'm in a comfortable position for where I'm at in my career right now. Okay, there's one more. I got a tie. This is probably gonna be the last one. It's up to you though, Manny. Actually, it's up to you. But
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, if you weren't a comedian, what do you think you'd be doing right now? I'm gonna be real with you, man. My parents and a lot of people in my life, they always thought I was gonna be a lawyer. or a politician. You know, they always because I in school I wasn't into any of the sports. I was into a lot of the nerdier stuff. I was in like debate team and student government and like National Honor Society and stuff like that. And my favorite subject was social studies. So and my favorite thing in social studies and government class was constitutional law. So more than likely, I probably would have. Yeah, man, we are the one the same. Yeah, yeah. You know, yeah, that's probably what I would have been doing. But instead, you know, I'm out here, you know, telling these homeless jokes, man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm on. But nah, man, this was great. Yeah, I'll leave it, Manny. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me. I know you said you wanted it to be 30 minutes, so I'm gonna keep it tight.
No, appreciate you. Super excited to watching you. Again, if you guys are at the attic in Columbus or just follow Jerrel
Yeah.
because he's constantly active and moving around. So happy holidays. And yeah, no, thank you again. This was awesome.